Oxford, Noah Newman. Employee of the Month, Andrew Harrison.
For September.
And the Samaria Terry here getting you ready for the SEC opener between Ole Miss and Arkansas. Excitement level high right now outside the pavilion right here.
Absolutely. Beautiful $96.5 million pavilion building right here. Ole Miss putting their money where the mouth is with facilities right between that and the Fan Fest. So come on out and see us if you're in Oxford today.
Speaking of 96, it's what, 96 degrees?
Well, there is a clause in our contract where the heat index, when the heat index is over 100 degrees, we're allowed to wear polos. We got to get Samaria a polo for next week, though.
Gonna work on that.
It is hot out here over the next couple hours. We're doing a lot of fun stuff. We got some great guests that are going to join us later.
Yes, we got Saturday Down South, Brad Logan. We're going to also have Pete Ruler. I hope I'm saying his name correct, but we'll ask him when he gets here. He's a beat writer for Arkansas. And then, of course, we're going to have the Ben Craddock, whose name is like all over the place around here. So he's a big deal.
Yeah, Craddock means a lot at Ole Miss. That name goes a long way.
Inside the pavilion there, Craddock Court on the court. But we're going to be talking about a lot of games over the next couple hours. Of course, Ole Miss, Arkansas, we have a lot of great stuff, features. We're going to hear from players and coaches. But right now, Southern Miss and Mississippi State, that one is underway in Starkville. Andrew and I were just watching it inside the pavilion there. Mississippi State with a good start in that one.
Absolutely. Tommy Stevens is throwing the ball so well for them. It adds another dimension to that offense that they might not have had last year. Looking good out the gate against Southern Miss.
Samaria, you give Southern Miss a shot in this one?
You know what? They got that nasty bunch, and they are nasty. Okay, so we're going to see what they're going to do defensively, but I think it's going to be tit for tat.
My prediction is it comes down to the fourth quarter. Going to be close. We also, Mississippi College and Alcorn State, home opener for the Braves. Our Alex Love, very excited to be out there. He's going to be covering that one for us as well. Braves with a good chance of getting the win column after a tough loss last week against Southern Miss.
Yeah, this is such a different game for them. Out on the road at the Rock last week, and now Mississippi College this week. A bit of a different kind of a team for them to take on. I feel good about the Braves winning this one.
Yeah, I think it'll be a great confident booster for Alcorn.
How about Jackson State? They got another tough one later.
Oh my God, they have 4 games back-to-back that are just brutal for them. So of course they played Bethune-Cookman last week. That was a little comical. But now they're getting ready to take on South Alabama down in Mobile.
Yeah. Steve Campbell, former coach of the Delta State University Statesman, coached them with a national title. He's coaching South Alabama now. And they gave Nebraska all they wanted last week. And this week they get Jackson State.
Andrew knows his stuff. ESPN's matchup predictor. I got some bulletin board material for you guys, Jackson State. ESPN's matchup predictor gives South Alabama a 97.5% chance. That's crazy. What does John Hendrick think about that? We're going to find out later in the show. How about Mississippi Valley? They actually pretty good against Tennessee State last week.
Yes.
They faced Lamar at 6 o'clock, and then, of course, kickoff here 6:30. We're going to preview this game. But before we get into this week's matchup, let's go back to last week. Of course, Ole Miss opening the season at Memphis, a.k.a. Grind City. And this was a tough start for Ole Miss in this one. So Memphis would jump out to the lead. Quarterback Brady White, veteran quarterback, would sneak it into the end zone. And Memphis would jump out to the 7-0 lead. And Ole Miss really struggled to get a lot going in this game offensively. We have the new coordinators, Rich Rodriguez. Yeah. So maybe they're still kind of getting adjusted to his system a little bit.
I'm thinking it might take a little while. And I think we'll see a better offense this week. But the defense really kept them in that game because Memphis is a high-scoring team.
Absolutely. Coach McIntyre's unit played really well. Second half, the offense finally got going a little bit. Matt Corral used his legs, made some great plays with his feet. And then Scotty Phillips, the pride of South Jones, he scored Ole Miss's only touchdown of the game late to make it a pretty close game. But the key play in the game late was Matt Corral getting Corral in the end zone. It was a safety, and Memphis ran out the final 6+ minutes on the clock for the 15-10 victory. Here's what the Rebels had to say after the ball game.
I just told the team in the locker room that it is a long season. I thought defense, there was some bright spots there for sure. Offensively, we really struggled in the first half. Got a little bit better in the second half, but we got those young guys. We got to go back, watch the film. We got to grow up in a hurry. The SEC play starting next week, and go move forward and get that bad taste out of our mouth.
Couldn't get a rhythm going. It's hard when you're a tempo team to establish any kind of tempo if you're not getting first downs.
We just started off slow. I mean, Memphis, hats off to those guys. They did a good job of preparing for us. But we came back in the second half ready to go. So
first quarter was first 3 plays, a lot faster. But that was just getting into the gameplay, and then I just started picking up, started getting the feel for it, and then started getting the looks. And then you come down to execution. That's it.
We forget it's a really young team, and there's no preseason in college football, so I think they got the kinks worked out. Key stat was Ole Miss was outgained by 191 yards. It's hard to win ball games when that happens.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That is not going to work today, but I think they're going to turn it around.
That is one thing that I think surprised us the most about that matchup. We thought they were going to run the ball all night long. -1 yard rushing at halftime. That's not what I thought out of this group.
Now, if you ask the Ole Miss tailbacks, they have the best unit in America, or one of the best out there. Didn't show it last week. Maybe it'll be different this time around.
We're going to hear from some of those guys, and one of those running backs actually said that Ole Miss has the best running back unit in the country. So we'll hear from that coming up. But let's burn our first time out here in Oxford. Coming up next, we're going to hear more from Matt Luke about this matchup against Arkansas. Why home field advantage here is going to be a big-time thing for Ole Miss in this game. You're watching Sports Zone Saturday, Week 2, live for the SEC opener in Oxford.
I love it. I love it. You know, I love being an underdog because honestly, it's kind of parallel with me. Everybody thinks, he played at a small private school. He's not going to do much. And so, you know, and that's what I like doing. I like proving people wrong. I've been proving people wrong my whole life, so why not prove 100, 1,000 people wrong again? So it just makes everything going out there so much sweeter.
Pride of Jackson Prep, Jerrion Ealy. I love that fire. When you're the underdog, you got to embrace that underdog role. But Ole Miss going to be underdog a lot this year. Andrew Harrison, they're not the underdogs today.
They're not. They're favored by a touchdown here. Usually get 3 points just for being at home, but a touchdown favorite, the Rebels over Arkansas. You know, Ole Miss gave up 41 points a game in SEC play last year. That's not going to get it done, but I don't think that's going to happen today.
Yeah. I mean, but we know Ole Miss, they put up points. They're always getting in the end zone. They're going to find a way offensively to do something. Defensively, they got to work a little bit. But last week's performance, that's what I'm like, it's really shocked us because usually they put up big numbers on offense. I don't know. It's just, it's strange. I don't know.
Strange things at the Liberty Bowl last week. We did not see that coming. Not the way it played out anyway.
Definitely surprised. We're going to make our official picks later in the program. But right now, let's hear what head coach Matt Luke and some of the guys have to say about this matchup with the Razorbacks. Take a listen.
But, you know, we're a different team now, so we're just worrying about being the best team, tackling well, being physical, taking the ball away. You know, they're a great offense. You know, they got great coaches. So we definitely got a game plan extra hard to start the SEC opener, so we definitely got to do a better job than we did last year.
Yeah, so it's a four-man front. They'll play a little bit of bear, you know, play some cover one. That's, you know, that's Coach Chavis. That's what he does. He's not going to change, and he's really good at what he does. They got two seniors in there at defensive line that are very, very stout, and Mike linebacker seems like he's been there forever. But very, very good in the middle. And same thing offensively with their quarterbacks and their running backs. So up the middle, they got a lot of experience and are very good.
Now, Arkansas didn't exactly blow the roof off the doors in their opener. They only beat Portland State by 7 points. The final score was 20-13, but they had 11 new starters on offense. Head coach Chad Morris called the performance very disappointing. If there's one thing this team did well, though, it was run the ball. They rushed for 204 yards. Now, you're going to keep an eye out on Raheem Boyd. He ran for 114 on 18 carries. Here's what Arkansas players are saying about the Rebels.
The new DC, they like to run a lot of zone. But they're very aggressive. They have players that have been playing in this league for a couple years now. So we just got to attack that and use their aggressiveness against them.
You know, to travel on the road, especially when you consider playing on the road in this league and how hard it is to win on the road, you know, this is a big ball game for both teams, but they're all big ball games. And so we're going to see a much improved Ole Miss team. We know that. As I said earlier, they got two fantastic offensive and defensive coordinators that have been in this situation before. They've both been head coaches, and they understand what it takes to get from week 1 to week 2 and get better, just like our staff does. And so you'll see two much improved football teams Saturday night.
Now, we started this block talking about Jerrion Ealy. Being an underdog is very new to him. Jackson Prep was so dominant in his years there under Ricky Black. So him coming in, not winning, not rushing a lot of yards,
It was
been strange for him.
Tough way to start, but maybe he'll get on track today, though.
Yes.
We'll wait and see about that.
Yeah, Andrew, he was one of the highest ranked recruits they've had in forever. 5-star prospect. A lot of people thought maybe he'd get picked early in the MLB draft and forego, you know, his college football career. But he's here, and I think for them to have success, I think he's got to be a big difference maker. I expect him to have a big game today. I really do.
I can see. Yeah, let's see what that Arkansas run defense can do against Chad Morris. They're typically not defensively strong at Arkansas, at least not under his regime. So I have to see maybe it's time to find some pay dirt today for him.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm starting to sweat, so we're going to burn another timeout here. We're going to have Ben Craddock coming up next, and then we're also going to break down Jalen Adams, who had a monster performance last week against Alcorn State. That and more coming up next on Sports Zone Saturday.
Back to the program. We have the Craddock clan is in the house here today in Oxford. We're getting you set for the Arkansas Ole Miss home opener. Noah Newman, Andrew Harrison, Samaria Terry, and a very special guest, Ben Craddock. Ben, thanks for, it's hot out here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really hot. I mean, but we're in the shade under the pavilion, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
This is a nice facility right here.
It is. It's probably one of the best best built. You know, I think it was $6 million to build it. Woo. They have a phenomenal floor down there.
Very nice indeed.
But it's really nice for the students, and as y'all can see, it's a family atmosphere out here. It's a great day for some football, so I'm excited to be here.
Since your time playing here, this whole facility, this whole area has grown. The Fan Fest, that's something that's relatively new. Things of that nature. There's so many things to do to get people in here. Can you touch on a little bit about that, the facility upgrades here in Oxford?
You know, yeah. When I was here, we had no indoor practice facility. Wow. You know, that was not here. It was built, I guess, 4 years after I left. So we would actually go to the Turner Center, which is right behind us, and that's where we would practice our indoor stuff because you had the concrete.
In the 100-degree heat.
100-degree heat. You know, they had we had about a $20 million budget, and when I played, and so now it's $110 million budget now. So times have changed, money's changed, facilities have changed. So it's kind of where we are right now.
Yeah, we're going to be getting your thoughts on the matchup coming up in the coming hours. I see Craddock Court on the court now. That's your family. Tell our viewers a little bit about your family's history here at Ole Miss.
Yeah, my brother came to school here, and I decided I was actually about to sign with USM, and at the last hour, Ole Miss came in with Tommy Tuberville and sold me on their program, and that was it. I signed with Ole Miss and met my wife, who was my tutor. Actually, I failed biology as my tutor. Yeah.
Really?
Twice.
Twice.
You know, okay. I was trying, but but she was my tutor, and we ended up getting married. And but yeah, we have 3 beautiful daughters. My mom and dad, they're here also, and we're very blessed. But you know, all glory to God, though. So very blessed.
Where do you rate the talent level right now from when you were here during the Temple Real regime? You got some very good teams there. The team a little bit down this year. Where do you think the talent level is right now?
I think it's actually pretty good. You know, Matt Luke, giving him time, he's going to recruit the right players. And I feel like I need to be looking at her some.
Oh, please do.
I mean, I got these two, but but Matt actually, he's recruiting at a high level. I feel like, you look at defense, they're so much better than they were last year.
Oh, yeah.
The linebacker plays better. We're young. I think it's like there's 60 true freshmen that are playing. So we're a young team, but with a young team, we're going to be okay. I mean, it just takes time for the experience to kick in, but they're going to be okay. They're going to be okay.
Great assistant coaches this year. Some really good ones, top drawer. See if the offense can catch up this week. I think that was the Achilles heel last week. You couldn't move the ball, especially in the first half.
Correct. And that goes back to being a young team. And it takes some experience. The timing, with the offensive line being so young, you got 4 freshman quarterbacks, so it's going to take time. But if the fans will stay patient, we'll be fine. But like I said, each week you want to get better, and I think you'll see today the offense will be better.
And the team they played last week, Memphis, I think maybe people are forgetting a little bit, us included, that Memphis is a pretty good team. I mean, for a young team to go on the road and open up with an opponent like that, I mean, it was a close game at least.
Yeah. Memphis has always been.
They're solid.
They've always been solid.
Yeah.
And it's always been like a very tight game. But, you know, I give my hat off to Memphis. You know, every year we see them on the schedule. I didn't want to play Memphis. Because those kids come out and play. So if we're not ready, we're going to get beat. So, but yeah, I respect Memphis and their program. Year in and year out, they compete, and they're a phenomenal team.
Now I know it's hot out here. Do you have time to stick around for a couple segments?
Sure.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I need to go here.
It's okay. I'll ask you some questions.
So Maria's got a ton of questions.
Yeah,
She has the tough questions. Andrew and I are softballs.
Yeah, I hear you.
So Ben is going to join us after the break, but first we're going to send it to Jesse Finver's package about the Jalen Adams. He had a monster game last week against Alcorn State. Jesse, take it away.
It took Jalen Adams precisely 11 seconds into last weekend's opener versus Alcorn State to announce to the world that he is back. That is one heck of a way to start your first game since the beginning of last season.
I enjoyed it for the most part. Without the guys on them units, it wouldn't have been possible, and it just felt great being back out there with those guys, coming off a season-ending injury. And, to get in the end zone twice, it felt great.
Adams led the team in all-purpose yards with 21 receiving yards, 89 kickoff return yards, and 93 punt return yards, which included an 80-yard touchdown return. At his weekly press conference on Monday, head coach Jay Hobson was gushing about his dynamic return man.
Jalen's a good football player, and but again, unfortunately, week 4, I think we were at Auburn, and we lost him for the season. And again, he's a good football player, and those are plays. I'd be lying if I said I was surprised by the plays Jalen's making. He's a guy that can do those type things.
Interestingly enough, Hobson said Adams was not named the team's special teams player of the week. But that's with good reason.
Let's put it this way. If Jalen doesn't get a national award or a conference award, we're going to give him a shirt, too. Usually we like to try to spread the wealth if we know one of our players is going to get Conference USA special teams player or national special teams player, we usually like to give another dog a bone.
Don't worry, though. Adams was named the Conference USA Special Teams Player of the Week. In Hattiesburg, Jesse Finver, 12 Sports.
Jesse, thank you very much. Quick score update. Mississippi State 14, Southern Miss 0. They're going to need a big play from Jalen Adams to get back in that one. All right, let's burn another timeout. Up next, we visit with a family in Madison. Dad played for Ole Miss. Son plays for Arkansas. Who are they rooting for? Find out next on Sports on Saturday, live from the SEC home opener in Oxford.
Yeah, I mean, he's really been doing a good job, just with questions I've had, for example, like if I didn't know a play or didn't understand a play, he'd quick to jump in and help me out, really kind of looks out for everybody, does a really good job.
He's just got that character. That's he's a sponge and everybody just gravitates towards him. I feel like he's going to be a great leader for us this fall.
This game day atmosphere here is tremendous.
Absolutely, almost the entire cheer squad out and about here, getting the fans revved up here. A little hotty-toddy, gosh almighty, the redshirt Miss America at Ole Miss. Good-looking group right there.
That was awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you guys very much. All right, coming up now, we got a really special story. So this is a special day for a lot of Ole Miss alum, especially for a family in Madison. Graduated from here, but they're not rooting for Ole Miss today. What? Why? Find out in this feature story.
For Bubba and Donna Gunter, Ole Miss is a special place. It's their alma mater, it's where they met, where they fell in love, and it's where Bubba played football. But when the Rebels take the field Saturday, they'll be rooting for Arkansas.
We want to see Ole Miss do well.
Just not this weekend.
We want them to do well. I want it to be a great game, everyone to stay safe, but I want Arkansas to win.
Correct.
And then I want Ole Miss to do well for the rest of the year.
So why are these Ole Miss alum cheering for the Razorbacks? Because their son Grayson plays for them.
As being an Ole Miss fan, it's you're torn a little bit, but you got a child playing on the other side. It's your loyalty is with him, and just want him to do well.
That's Bubba's from when he played at Ole Miss. I am more nervous because there's going to be a lot of people there that we know, and I want him to do well. I know it's a big game for him to come home and play in front of all of his friends and family. So I do get pretty nervous at ball games.
That was off the old locker right there.
A typical football weekend for us, we go to see our son that plays for Madison Central. We go to his games on Friday night, and then we leave. We drive halfway to Little Rock, Arkansas, and we get up on Saturday mornings and drive to Fayetteville to watch Grayson play.
We've got a year or two to do this, and we're enjoying every minute of it.
As a kid, Grayson always dreamed of following in Dad's footsteps, suiting up for the Rebels. But on signing day, he chose a different path.
My family, they want me to go wherever I'm happy, but you know, my dad played football at Ole Miss in the late '80s, and you know, we have some family ties there. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, we really liked Arkansas whenever we went up there, and you know, that's where I wanted to be.
Got a tight end at the 5. That's Gunter into the end zone. Touchdown, Arkansas.
You know, he's had a lot of great experiences at Arkansas. This year will be his 4th time to play in Cowboy Stadium, which is that's a really big deal. And then next year, for his senior year, they open up against Notre Dame. He'll have the opportunity to play at Notre Dame. They'll play at Cowboy Stadium again, and then they end the season playing Missouri at the Kansas City Chiefs Stadium.
Yep.
Wow.
So there's a lot of great experiences that he has been a part of.
The record hadn't always been what you wanted as a player, you know, wins and losses. But, you know, he's made great friends up there. He's had some great experiences, and I guarantee it, if you ask him, he wouldn't trade it for the world. So we're looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be fun. You know, that's our alma mater. You know, it'll always be, you know, where we graduated from and home to us. But this is Grayson. He's at Arkansas, and, you know, he is part of us. And so, you know, when your son's on the field playing, that's who you pull for, and that's who you root for. So
like a dream scenario would be Arkansas wins 40-39. Grayson has like 5 touchdowns.
That would be great.
Perfect. Perfect.
What an awesome story.
Gunters, thank you so much for having us over. I didn't want to leave. They're such a nice family. So nice. As you were saying, with Ben Craddock with us, former Ole Miss punter, 96 to 2000. Your entire family's here. This is a special day for you. But
they are.
Grayson he's a key player for Arkansas.
He is. I mean, like you said, great. I mean, the piece was awesome, and he's a great kid. Great kid. His dad played here. I wish we would have got him, but that one, I don't know what happened with that one, guys. But he is one of their key pieces. He's a producer. He doesn't drop many balls at all, so he should be a big factor in this game today.
Great. Speaking of your position, I know we like to say the offensive line is the most underrated, but I feel like the kick and punt team,
for sure,
they are so underrated. Nobody thinks about y'all. Why is that?
Haters. You know, it's a saying, haters will hate, and but no, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, everybody makes fun of the kickers or the punters, but when you win a game, there's no better feeling. But when you lose a game, there's no worse feeling. So, but yeah, you know, everybody's got to hate on somebody on a team, and usually it's a kicker or punter. So it kind of is what it is.
Okay, so now this is the tough question. Keys to an Ole Miss win today.
No turnovers. I think that Matt Corral has to be very effective today. You know, 60% of his passes need to be completed. That's my opinion. I think the turnover and then the defense, you know, they played so well last game. I think we'll be fine. They'll continue to improve, but it goes both ways. I feel like Arkansas and Ole Miss, they're very similar, like we were talking about earlier. They're very similar in their style of play. You know, as far as they have more seniors, but you know, they're a very young team, just like we are. So, but for us, we can't turn the ball over. We won't have a chance if we do.
Yeah. Thoughts on the running back group?
Woo! Ours or theirs?
Ole Miss.
Okay. Our group, we have very talented backs. We just need to get them the ball, get them in space. You know, with Ely from being a Jackson, and you have Knight from Pearl. To me, and you got Phillips for sure. Phillips is a bruiser, but you know, the 2 guys I mentioned earlier, you know, they're better than any backs I've ever seen. And so we got to get those guys in space so they can do what they do and make plays.
Yeah.
So. for sure.
Does this come down to a special teams play?
Oh, gosh, I hope so.
The punters are going to be.
Hey, I hope so. Yeah, for sure. And they have, we actually have a great kicker in Luke Logan. Their kicker's very good. So, but it would make my day, because if it did come down to a field goal, that means I'm going to come back next week because I'm good luck, right?
Okay.
If we win, if we lose, I'm not coming back.
If you win, if Ole Miss wins, Craddock is on set every single show until they lose.
Yeah.
Yes. But if we lose, I'm not going to see y'all again.
It's good they started today, then. I think they can get it done.
Yeah.
This is such an important one for it. It's an SEC game. It's in the league, and it's at home. This is a team you guys can beat, right?
We can beat them, but like I said earlier, no turnovers. We got to play better. We will. But I'm excited just to see this young team from week 1 to week 2. When I played, you had Tuberville and Coach Cutcliffe. They always said your most improvement came from week 1 to week 2. So we'll see where we are today. We'll find out.
Absolutely. Getting it off. Memphis is a tough one. Arkansas is going to be tough, but I feel that it is winnable.
It is. It is winnable, but we'll see, though. I'm with you. I'm kind of nervous.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
The official Ben Craddock prediction. What do you got?
3-0.
3-0.
Kicker wins.
Ole Miss?
Yeah, we win by field goal.
Carry him off the field, everybody. Put him on your shoulder.
That'll be a thriller.
Yeah.
All right, you are watching Super Saturday live from Oxford, Mississippi. Sports Zone Saturday live from Oxford. We'll talk a little bit about Jackson State University on the road to take on USA South Alabama. That's when we return live from Oxford.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Jackson State mascot for coming onto the field. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
If it was up to me, he'd be rolling, he'd be worming, he'd be elbowing, toeing for the next 2 weeks. And when I see him, I'm going to tell him that.
All right, welcome back to Sports Zone Saturday live from Oxford. You're taking a look now at the Ole Miss Rebelettes. Aren't they so beautiful? Oh my gosh. I wish I was back in college. But the voice you just heard was Jackson State head coach John Hendrick about the mascot debacle. That's all I can call it. It's a debacle.
Sonny, he saw one of his guys, a Bethune defender, was trying to take the ball away from a Jackson State receiver who had scored his touchdown. I think Sonny interjected himself any way he knew how. I salute it. Team spirit. I'm for it. I'm Team Sonny over here.
You're Team Sonny. That was the funniest.
I about choked on a Cheeto when I was watching it. I have never seen that before, but you said the mascot does that a lot at the Fed.
Yes, at Veterans Memorial Stadium. He gets a little crazy out there. He's entertaining, I should say. And then you saw Jackson State release the video with Sonny. So he was rolling. He was doing everything that Coach Hendrick told him to do. I think he kind of regretted it a little bit after the fact, but like you said, I mean, that's Sonny.
You got to protect your guys out there. That's what an offensive lineman would do when somebody's on their quarterback. This time it was Sonny, the mascot, getting involved. It was clearly a touchdown, but Bethune should have broken that hole they had on the ball there. That's what I think.
And he had his uniform on, so he's like, why not? Let's just jump out.
So Andrew Harrison, if you were in charge of the mascot, if you were in charge of the mascot, you would have given him a pat on the back after the game. You would have said, "Great job, Sonny."
You do that when the cameras are off, saying, "Sonny, that's the kind of spirit and commitment we like to see from our team. Thank you for what you've done. We'll reprimand you in public, but again, you're fine." It's all below board after that, I think.
Well, John Hendrick's a pretty nice guy. Jackson State, they have an arduous opening season schedule, and it continues today on the road at South Alabama. South Alabama is no joke. This one kicks off later today at 6 o'clock, and here's some bulletin board material for Coach Hendrick and company. According to ESPN's matchup predictor, ladies and gentlemen, South Alabama has a 97.5% chance of winning this ball game.
If it was me and I was playing, I'd have a chip on my shoulder because everybody says that this and that and you're here and you're there. I'd have a chip to show them that I'm as good as those guys are over there. That's how I would play. And I'm hoping that our guys will play that way with a chip on their shoulder because we're playing up and no one has an expectation of us doing anything. But I do have an expectation of us doing something in the game. And I've let the team know that at 6:30 this morning what my expectation is.
Jackson State, I mean, their defense played well in the first half last week, but I think the offense couldn't get much going. And now, in my opinion, Coach Hendrick knows more about football than I do, of course, but you got to pick one quarterback and stick with the guy. You know what I mean?
And so he did. Derek Ponder has been officially named the starting quarterback, so he will get the start tonight.
I did not know that. Well, that's got to, that has to help get the team a little more focused behind one guy. That is your guy, thick and thin, and it's going to be tough out there today in Mobile, Alabama. I'll tell you that.
There you go. Here's the score update right now. Mississippi State on top of Southern Miss, 14-0. So, Andrew, when we were watching that on the TV before the show started, it looked like Southern Miss was driving, maybe going to score, but Mississippi State's defense living up to expectations right now after kind of a rocky performance last week.
Yeah, Lafayette was able to move the ball on a pretty good, scored about 4 or 5 touchdowns on the Bulldogs. So, yeah, Southern Miss, a little heavy sledding right there today. We'll see if they can get on track here in the second half as that game gets a little later.
It's up to the Nasty Bunch to keep them in it, Samaria, right? The defense, Southern Miss defense has to keep this close, and who knows, maybe Mississippi State will get a little nervous in the second half and they can get back in it.
We'll see.
It's an uphill climb. It's like Jackson State in South Alabama. Southern Miss really has their work cut out for them today.
Boy, how about the atmosphere here right now? So we still have about 3 hours, a little under 3 hours till kickoff here in Oxford. Ole Miss getting set to take on Arkansas in the SEC home opener. We've got so much coming up over the next hour plus, including our picks. We're going to make some picks in some games. And coming up next, we're going to talk about one of the key players in this game, Nick Broeker. He's a freshman, an offensive lineman. This could be a big moment here in Oxford. Sports Zone Saturday. We'll be right back after this short timeout. Welcome back to Sports on Saturday, live from Oxford, outside the pavilion, next to the football stadium. A lot of really nice people out here that are cooking out. Just some guy just brought us some sausages. This is the best kibasi I think I've ever eaten in my life.
It was fantastic. The only thing when I eat spicy food, I tend to sweat a little bit, but that was delicious. They can bring the tray. You had one too. You said you needed the grease.
I did need the grease. I feel like I needed the grease.
We don't want to cramp up.
It may come out, on my forehead up here.
We're outside the fan zone area here. All kinds of cool stuff going on. We have a bouncy house. We have some games. I like a big screen TV out there on the stage and playing some of the other college games. The Ohio State game was on earlier. Buckeyes in Cincinnati. But a game we do care about, Mississippi State up 14-0 against Southern Miss right now. And Tommy Stevens, 9 for 10, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns.
It's not bad.
It's a pretty good efficiency rating for Tommy this afternoon.
2 tough start games. So we've got a lot of great stuff coming up over the next couple hours. Special guests that are going to be talking. I think one of the keys to this game is going to be in the trenches. Ole Miss, offensive line, has to play better. Matt Luke said that a freshman by the name of Nick Broeker, who I covered in high school back in Illinois, couldn't get some playing time today. Whoa! Nick Broeker on how playing at SHG in Central Illinois prepared him for this moment.
I think definitely it's helped me a lot, just in the sense that the way we work is pretty similar. Everything with Coach Leonard, it's always about winning, and that's just how college football is. Everyone wants to win, and I think we have a great group of strength coaches there, and a great offensive line coach, great offensive coordinator. So some of the things that we do here, are honestly, sort of similar to the way we did things at SHG.
Ladies and gentlemen, had some mic problems here. I got a new mic. I got Ben's magical mic right here, Ben Craddock's mic. But yeah, offensive line going to be one of the keys. I think they have some young guys. Oh, the air conditioning feels great right now, by the way.
And we said they did not show up last week. So hopefully, with the offensive line, you can establish the run game, and that is all the momentum that these Rebels need.
Yes, their defense is going to be stingy. They just have to protect the quarterback a little bit longer and get something on those first and second down run plays. I think we'll have a lot different story with the scoreboard this week.
Yes, but now you can see we are sweating bullets right now. John Conway is going to deliver a 3-minute weather forecast coming up next on Sports Zone Saturday.
All All right, here's your official Storm Team 12 forecast for the big SEC game. Arkansas at Ole Miss should be a fantastic night. Going to be about 85 degrees for the kickoff at 6:30 p.m. The winds are going to be light as well. Going to be mostly sunny. You may need those sunglasses early. Post-game going to be fantastic. 74 degrees, clear skies, light winds out of the north as you head home from the big game at around 10 p.m. Down here, though, central Mississippi, it is not all that comfortable. Temperatures are in the mid-90s down in the Pine Belt. We are in the upper 90s to near 100 in the Delta and the Jackson Metro. Heat continues to be the headline story here. In fact, no heat advisories up in Oxford. Heat advisories everywhere else in central and southern Mississippi. These are in effect until 7 p.m. Saturday. That's our entire viewing area in the Jackson Metro and the Pine Belt. Heat indices this afternoon will be in excess of 105 degrees. So be careful if you're going to be outside this afternoon. Now, it's hot up in Oxford, but not quite as hot, and that's because we have this stationary boundary here over the south. Oxford right about here in Lafayette County. They're to the north of the boundary. Most of us here in Jackson and southern Mississippi south of the boundary where it is nice and hot. Looking ahead to tomorrow, going to continue to be hot. That boundary stays over us. Very, very slight chance of an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. Most folks, though, are going to be sunny to mostly sunny tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be a similar story to start the work week. We keep the blistering heat with us with just very slight chances of afternoon showers and thunderstorms to start the next work week in September. So we're getting September off to a very, very hot start, and the heat continues to remain the headline story pretty much right through the upcoming week. Tomorrow morning, we're going to wake up to temperatures in the low 70s at places like Carthage and Forest, mid 70s elsewhere across the region. High temperatures tomorrow, again, going to be in the mid to upper 70s to near 100 all across the region. And the heat indices, again, I am expecting heat advisories to be in effect again tomorrow. It will feel like 100 to 105 degrees to even close to 110 degrees by tomorrow afternoon. So make sure you are being careful outside because it is going to be dangerously hot. In fact, I'm throwing up the weather aware banners for tomorrow and Monday because of the heat, near 100 degrees for actual air temperatures, and the heat doesn't go away. Right through the middle of the upcoming week, we keep the temperatures in the mid to upper 90s. Even toward the end of next week, we're not getting any relief from this heat. So we're getting this September off to a really, really hot start. So let's get back to Sports Zone Saturday live up in Oxford, Mississippi with Andrew, Noah, and Samaria. Back to you.
Can we do an audio check on this on 3? It works. I thought it wasn't working.
Stadium. We are live here at Ole Miss. It's a hot one out here, isn't it?
96 degrees with the real feels of 103, so really enjoying it out here right now.
This is the hottest I've ever been in my life right now, ever.
And we're joined right now with a special guest. So he's an Arkansas beat writer for 24/7 Sports, Pete Roulier. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, it is absolutely burning up down here. But that's what it's supposed to be like, right? It's the first SEC game of the season. That means football season has officially arrived. So I'm happy about it. Let's embrace the heat.
Okay, I trust you, but it is hot.
It's very hot.
All right, Noah, these games that we got going on today, let's take a look.
We've got a lot of games to talk about, Pete. Of course, we're going to get to the Ole Miss game here in a second, but right now, Mississippi State leads Southern Miss 21-0. At halftime, I think that's the big game a lot of people are keeping their eyes on right now. Does that score surprise you at all? Did you figure Mississippi State would win this one big?
I figured Mississippi State would win this game, and it feels like those 10 players getting suspended, I feel like it really hasn't altered them at all. Maybe they're rallying around this, and a lot of people thought that they might be down because of this, but hey, look at them now. I mean, things could happen, and they could actually end up having a pretty good SEC season.
How impressed are you with Tommy Stevens coming down from Happy Valley, coming to Starkville? He seems like he's just hit the ground running. Team captain already, and he's doing great things on the field.
Well, if you think about it, Penn State, and you look about the North, Penn State's probably about the closest thing you can get to an SEC experience. So him coming down there, I guess there's no nerves, and of course, everyone's known it since he's been there. He can sling it. So I don't think I'm surprised by that at all.
And, of course, you have Kylan Hill, who's just an absolute beast. I'm sure he's having another big game against Southern Miss. So Mississippi State up 21-0 right now over Southern Miss at halftime. What were your initial thoughts last week when you're watching Ole Miss go down to Memphis? They lose a game. Final seconds are ticking off the clock. What's your reaction? What's going through Pete Roulier's head?
Well, I'm thinking I kind of expected that, and the reason being is because Matt Corral is brand new in this offense, but it was kind of the same feeling that I got from Arkansas versus Portland State. The good thing about Arkansas is they came out 1-0, but the offense looked absolutely flat, but the defense came out and they played pretty well. So I don't know, I'm sure you guys have had a lot of people on talking about it. This could be a defensive battle, and that's what I'm thinking watching that game. I'm like, these are two good defenses that could make for some really good competition.
Now, Ole Miss gave up 41 points a game in SEC play last year. I don't think that we're going to see any kind of repeat of that anytime soon.
Well, you look at McIntyre, bringing him in, that was a huge get. And then if you look at the talent, and Lakia Henry coming in from junior college, Benito Jones up front, I mean, there's stars on the defensive side of the ball that are legit SEC stars. So giving up 41 points a game for them, I mean, that's got to be, they got to have some pride. You can't be doing that. Same on Arkansas's level. They gave up way too many points last year, and they have some legit stars on their side of the defensive ball.
Yeah. Do you think Portland State's a sneaky good team? Are they a tough out that can fly under the radar?
I wish I could sit here and tell you that, but no, they weren't. But they did have a very elusive quarterback, which is going to be interesting to see today what Matt Corral can do with his legs. Arkansas was in Davis Alexander's face all game long, but for some reason he found a way to escape. So that's going to be one of my keys to the game coming up later, but trying to contain Matt Corral. But really what happened was Arkansas could get in the red zone. They were driving the ball down the field, had no problem moving the ball on offense. What really was going on was they couldn't finish in the red zone. Drives would stall. It was just an ugly offense performance, I'd say.
And before we go to break, how similar are these two programs?
I feel like they're incredibly similar, especially at this point right now. You got two head coaches that have got a lot to prove. They're picked to be at the bottom of the barrel of the SEC, but also storied programs with pride that really feel like they should be up at the top of the SEC West every single year. Both programs are recruiting well despite their records. I feel like they're both in similar places, and maybe one of them is going to propel themselves this next couple of years. Who knows? This game is huge. It's a big game, and Arkansas fans and Ole Miss fans they both know that this is a huge game, second week of the season.
It all starts today. We'll be back with more from Pete from 24/7 Sports, talking a little bit Arkansas Razorbacks. You're looking live at Oxford, Mississippi, Sports Zone Saturday on News 12.
This will be a four-quarter game. That's why our fans will be so key in this one. For a young team, this is going to be a four-quarter battle. We'll have to go win it in the fourth quarter, and it'll be huge that we have a home field advantage.
Home field advantage will be big here today in Oxford. We're live from Ole Miss, getting set for the SEC opener. Noah Newman, Andrew Harrison, Samaria Terry, Pete Roulier from 247 Sports. And we've got some breaking news. This just happened during the break, not related to this game or college football, but Antonio Brown has a new team. He is going to
the Patriots.
The Patriots! Can you believe it? And Pete has Antonio Brown on his fantasy team. So Pete, let's get your breaking news reaction. Antonio Brown is a New England Patriot.
The last 5 days have been a whirlwind for me. I've been getting the alerts on my phone. He's going to play. He's not going to play. On the way up here, my buddy calls me. He's gone. He got released. It was a terrible decision, but I feel like he finessed the whole league. Bill Belichick does it again, and Antonio Brown's a Patriot. I'm amazed.
What round did you take him in? First round?
Second round. He was still sitting there. All that talent, I couldn't say no. You know what I mean?
You feel this is a long con from Antonio Brown? He wanted to be a Patriot all along. He just took a circuitous route to get there?
I mean, why not? Let's just go with it for the conspiracy theory's sake. I mean, it seemed like he was going to do everything that he could not to play in Oakland.
I know. He just didn't like it there, and I don't know why. Watched Hard Knocks. He was not a likable person on that show at all.
Didn't like the wine in Napa Valley. I don't know. Maybe there's something like that.
Keep him out of the cryotherapy bed, though. Get him on the field.
Absolutely.
But Bill Belichick, he's just like a troubled athlete whisperer. Like, he can just get to those guys like nobody else can. So maybe this will be a turnaround in his career.
Now, if Josh Gordon gets it figured out, Gordon, Antonio Brown,
Edelman,
Sony Sony Michel in the backfield. Now, if you drafted Tom Brady in fantasy, you're looking pretty good. And he was going late rounds, too.
Oh, absolutely. That is insane. And you were right about troubled athletes. Bill Belichick's going to say, hey, man, you got one chance. And he's going to look around, he's going to see Tom Brady. He's like, I can really just go ahead and just finesse my way to the Super Bowl. Yep. So good for him, I guess.
Here's something no one's talking about, too. What if later in the season, or maybe December rolls around, or November, Rob Gronkowski gets the itch to come back, and Gronk comes back and lines up with Antonio Brown and Josh Gordon and Edelman.
If you put your money on Vegas and you put it on a couple days ago, you're feeling really good about your chances right now.
Yeah, Patriots looking like the team to beat, especially after today.
Well, don't sleep on the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns taking on Andrew Harrison's Tennessee Titans right here on 12 News tomorrow. We're going to talk a little bit more about that game coming up. But A-B to the Patriots, big-time stuff, big-time breaking story. All right, we got Pete here to talk college football. So let's talk about Ole Miss, Arkansas, this matchup. And let's take a look at the last time they met. If tonight's game is anything like the last meeting, then we're in for a nail-biter that's going to come down to the wire. As we show you some of the video from last year's game, Rebels were trying to snap a 4-game skid against the Razorbacks in this one. Fourth quarter, Isaiah Woolard, the all-time rushing leader in Mississippi high school history, with just a tremendous run, which would trim the Arkansas lead to just 2. And then later, under a minute to go, Scotty Phillips would punch it in to give Ole Miss the lead, and that would be the final score, 37-33. But unfortunately, that would be Ole Miss's last win, correct? As they ended the season on a 5-game skid. So that was a high-scoring affair. Do you expect this one to be low-scoring or high-scoring? What do you think?
See, it is so hard to choose that because, I mean, this game every year is absolutely insane. So if I threw out 7-3, 25, 38, who knows what's going to be. But just watching the first game, it looks like it could be defensive battle. Talking about that first game, I can tell you from an Arkansas fan's perspective, they feel like they got screwed.
Really?
Rakeem Boyd goes down in the first quarter after rushing for 109 yards, hurts his tailbone. Starting quarterback last year, Ty Story, goes down with an injury. Leading 27-17 at halftime, it felt like the air was just knocked out of the stadium after those two guys go down. So this whole team's looking for redemption. They felt like they've had Ole Miss's number for the last 5 years. Let one get away last year. 2 evenly matched teams this season. So Arkansas is looking for redemption.
Why do you think this matchup is so crazy every single year?
I wish I could tell you, but it's got to be something with proximity, right? If you look at Memphis, I mean, it's pretty much halfway divided between Arkansas fans, probably a little more Ole Miss fans, but just the proximity and then the history, 100 years. It's just natural for an Arkansas fan to look at the powder blue and kind of scoff. And then the same for an Ole Miss fan to look at the Razorback red and kind of scoff. And the players feel the same way, so they're going to do everything they can to win that game.
Strange things happened in this game. Arkansas converted, what, a 4th and 25 to cost Ole Miss a chance at the SEC West title?
The Henry Heave in favor.
Okay. Yeah, Henry Heave in 7 overtimes back when Eli was here, so maybe some more craziness today.
Oh, I'd absolutely expect some craziness, especially since you have no idea what you're going to see from these offenses. I mean, they could absolutely turn it on because there's talent on that side of the ball. Matt Corral has every opportunity to use his legs, get some yards. And then this Arkansas offense, I mean, they got Ben Hickson there starting quarterback. He played for SMU and broke every passing record that they had. So if those offenses get going, then some crazy things could absolutely happen.
Well, let me ask you this about Arkansas. Just looking at the box score, they defeated Portland State 20-13. Portland State, were they holding back? Were they trying to not tip their hand to Ole Miss, or what did you take away from that game?
Well, Chad Morris said that they did purposely run a vanilla-type offense. And, you know, that could be an excuse of why Arkansas only scored 20 points. But he did say that they were using a more vanilla offense, and he's got a lot more stuff installed, and he's a crazy offensive mind. So you could probably expect to see some different things.
How long of a leash does Chad Morris have at Arkansas? Because the wins haven't been there yet. I mean, it was a tough season last year. Are they willing to give him another couple of years here?
His leash is probably longer than you would think, just on the fact that how well he recruited, but coming off a 2-10 season. Yeah. I mean, he's bringing in 4 stars, 5 stars are taking interest. Probably not going to get any 5 stars in a 2-10 team, but the way he's going out and recruiting and the emphasis he put on it, and the culture that he's trying to bring to this program, fans believe. They truly believe. And this game is going to be a huge step forward. If Chad Morris wins this game, he'll be like, okay, I see what he's doing. If he loses this game, it's maybe another bad year.
Yeah.
What are your keys to an Arkansas win tonight?
A key to an Arkansas win is corralling Matt Corral. And the reason I say that is because last week Arkansas couldn't figure out how to stop little Davis Alexander from Portland State. But they were in his face the whole time. They said they've been working on the scramble drill all week long, so they've been working on that. I feel like that's a big key. Another big key, I think, is going to be Rakeem Boyd. If they can get the running game going like they did last season, that's going to open up things for Ben Hicks, the young Arkansas receivers who need some confidence, that dropped a couple balls in the opener, but they're really talented guys that can get some things going. So I'd say the run game for Arkansas, and on the other side of the ball, corralling Matt Corral.
What about the offensive line? It seems like they kind of struggled against Memphis.
I'll show you a key matchup I was thinking about there is junior center Ty Clare for Arkansas.
Okay.
A kind of an undersized guy. He's going against Benito Jones, who is a man. And Clary started last year. He struggled a little bit snapping the ball and maybe a little bit in run game. So he's gonna have a big. He had a huge offseason. Really excelled in the offseason, but this is his first big test. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do with Benito Jones.
Who is this game more important for? Who's feeling worse about a loss today, Ole Miss or Arkansas? Obviously, they both need it, but
they both really need it. So that's a tough question. But I think maybe if you look at Ole Miss coming off that loss to Memphis, spirits would be pretty low in Oxford after a 0-2 start to an Arkansas team where they feel like that could have been one of their SEC wins this year. And Arkansas feels the same way about Ole Miss. This could be one of our only SEC wins this year. But I'd say Ole Miss because you don't want to drop to 0-2.
Especially losing at home.
Yeah, especially losing at home.
That's rough.
Okay, very quick. The official Pete Roulier prediction.
Yes, I'm going to go with 27-24 Ole Miss. I just don't think that Arkansas's defense, they've struggled with running quarterbacks since the history of time. Ever since running a mobile quarterback became a thing, Arkansas's defense couldn't figure out a way to stop it, and I feel like Corral's going to make the plays with his legs to get it going.
You've got Ole Miss winning but not covering, though.
I do have Ole Miss winning but not covering. I mean, it's always too close of a game. Like, no one's going to ever cover this game. You can put money on that.
All right, Pete Roulier, 247 Sports. We appreciate it. Pete said it's going to be a fairly high-scoring game compared to last week, at least. He's got Ole Miss winning by 3. Hey, we really appreciate it. Great stuff. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, you guys were fun. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Pete.
All right, Andrew has a story on Davis Wade upgrades at the stadium coming up after the break. Sports Zone Saturday, live from Oxford. SEC home opener. Energy level starting to pick up here outside the fan zone. We'll be right back.
Zone Saturday here on 12 News. We are live in Oxford, Mississippi in the shadows of the pavilion. Between the pavilion and the Fan Fest, thousands of fans here. Also tens of thousands of Mississippi football fans over in Starkville this afternoon, where Mississippi State is taking on Southern Miss. The Bullies up 21-0 on the Golden Eagles at this point. In addition to a compelling matchup on the field, though, fans can also enjoy many improvements at the stadium. It's a refrain as old as the Southeastern Conference. If you're not upgrading your facilities, you are falling behind. That message comes through clear as a cowbell at Mississippi State. For those about to rock, 8 new speakers have been hoisted into place.
It's going to be a lot crisper. We're going to have more coverage. So we are having basically a renovation, a little rehaul of our speaker system, our sound system in Davis Wade. Davis Wade Stadium is loud, and we know it needs to be loud because we want to intimidate those opponents.
But it needs to be more inviting to fans, especially in the flat-screen smartphone age.
We're adding some additional connectivity to the stadium, and then we're also going to make sure we keep those trucks too and bring in the trucks in the parking lots to make sure that around the stadium and around the junction, fans are still able to connect.
The commitment to tech also stretches into the food court.
We're going to have some digital boards for the menu items so that the fans can see them from a little bit further away. And then we're also going to have improved connectivity so that those credit card machines run a little bit faster. So hopefully fans aren't having to wait in line as long.
Hungry for more good news? Those lower concession prices will stick around this year, and the menu is expanding.
So we're going to have chicken tender baskets, additional barbecue, hamburgers, a new crispier funnel cake.
The ladies' rooms are also getting a makeover, and there's safety upgrades as well. Davis Wade Stadium is always evolving. Even the walk to your seat got a little bit better this year. Check out this no-slip maroon walkway. And for fans looking for the latest in Bulldog apparel,
just signed a deal with Die Hard. And so this is a up-and-coming company. They have a lot of big schools, and they're doing a lot to help us advertise our brand, push it out there. They're taking the onus on themselves to build their own kiosks that are going to be all over the stadium. So we're going to have more offerings for premium items, and then also just T-shirts and memorabilia, and of course, cowbells.
Convenience, comfort, and a healthy dose of maroon. You'll find all in abundance at Mississippi State home games this year.
All right, even Ole Miss fans will get a chance to enjoy those improvements in Davis Wade this year. As the Egg Bowl, of course, is in Starkville. We'll be there and hope you will be too. Sports Zone Saturday from Oxford rolls on right here on 12 News.
Back to the program. We are live from Oxford, getting you set for the SEC home opener between Ole Miss and Arkansas. Noah Newman, Andrew Harrison, Samaria Terry with you. Boy, how much fun has this first hour and 20 minutes been? We've had some great guests. Pete was on air with us as the Antonio Brown news broke. How cool was that?
Yeah, he is going to be a Patriot there, and the rich get richer. It's the kind of thing Nick Saban would do.
So now the Patriots will probably go 13-3, but it won't be enough to beat the Cleveland Browns, who will probably go about 14-2, 15-1, I'm thinking maybe. So, and they'll definitely beat the Titans tomorrow, right?
Okay, now if people wanted to watch the Cleveland Browns Tennessee Titans game, where would you tune in tomorrow?
Right here, 12 News. It's going to be on at noon. We got to wager something because Andrew's a Titans fan. I'm a Browns fan. What should we bet, Samari? We got to bet something. I mean, we could go with it. It could be a little lame sometimes, but we could do the old you wear a Browns jersey next week for like one segment.
Oh, well, I've got 7 Titans jerseys. We could all wear them if the Titans win.
I think
if the
that's
Titans
the
win,
deal.
you want us all to wear Titans?
That'd be wonderful,
Hold
at
on,
least for a segment.
I'm not in this. Oh, no. I'm not in
Hopefully
this.
It's not like
you two shake on it. Shake on it now.
Okay, you'll be Derrick Henry next week.
I like Derrick Henry. I have him on my fantasy football team. So
fantastic.
I'll do that. And you will be, let's see, who are you going to be? Boy, I've got Brady Quinn.
Okay, I can be Brady Quinn.
Former Cleveland Browns bust.
Okay, you didn't do well. His sister married A.J. Hawk, though. He was good in college anyway.
Hey, she did marry A.J.
It's a small world, athletic family there.
Let's talk running backs now. Let's get back to the game. Ole Miss, Arkansas. I think running backs are going to be one of the keys to this game. Pete just told us about Boyd, Arkansas's running back. He's a beast. Ole Miss has some studs in the backfield. I know they didn't show it necessarily last week against Memphis, but I sat down with several of them, a lot of local products to it. Here's what they say about the running back position. They have high expectations for the SEC this year.
We're a very close group. I feel like we're one of the closest groups, to be honest. I mean, just there's a lot of different backs in there. Everybody's their own different back, so when one guy comes out, it's just a different, give the defense a different look.
My dad, he played here. I guess that's where I, get all my genes from.
We got everything you need. Big, small, fast, quick. The running back room is filled with a lot of different personalities and a lot of different skill sets as well. I mean, I feel like we got the best running back group in the country.
All right, so coming up next on Sports Zone Saturday, we will continue to be live here in Oxford, but I'm going to take you over to Clinton, Mississippi. There's a dynamic father-son duo taking the Choctaws program by storm. Coming up. Welcome back to Sports Zone Saturday. This week I was able to sit down with defensive coordinator at Mississippi College, Tony Gilbert, and his son, Tony Jr. Tony Jr. told me that his dad has been coaching him for most of his life. Let's check out their story right now. Over at Mississippi College, there's 2 Tony Gilberts, new Choctaws defensive coordinator, Big Tony, and his son, Little Tony, who plays defensive end.
It's the other way around, but it's a blessing to be able to, coach your son and be able to see him, and you can go to his game because, I had a daughter that played Division I basketball, and I got a chance to see her. I was fortunate where I was that our head coach allowed us to go to games, and I could see my daughter play, but I'm seeing my son, every day, and so that's nice.
But for a while, Coach Gilbert says people didn't associate the two.
I think there's still some people on the team that don't know that's my son. And I know it was about a year and a half at Stephen F. Austin that people didn't realize that that was my son, because we'll see each other and just kind of but and I'm an emotional guy. He's kind of non-emotional, kind of laid back, but he's a character though. But if you get to know you,
I look just like him, so if other people cannot tell that, then that's them. Maybe it's because of hair or something.
While Coach Gilbert served as the cornerbacks coach at Stephen F. Austin, Tony Jr. played there. He said it was a no-brainer to follow his father to Clinton, Mississippi.
I feel like it would be a better environment. I mean, when I was at my old place, I didn't feel that winning or team environment down there. So I just came down here to see how the team would be and how they would treat each other. And so far, it's pretty great.
And his father is bringing a new intensity to the Choctaws defense.
Oh, he always been that intense. Ever since I've been born, he's been that intense.
I'm just being me, because I love the game, and my passion for the game is fierce. And if I could put that into them, that they'll love the game like I love the game, then it would be, some great things would happen.
Welcome back. We are live on the beautiful campus of Ole Miss, and we have a very special guest with us, Mr. Brad Logan from Saturday Down South and the Clarion.
That's right.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks a lot for the invitation.
Okay,
absolutely.
So last hour we broke Antonio Brown heading to New England. What was your initial reaction to that?
I'm not surprised at all.
Did we just break this to you? Did you know?
No, I knew about it. My phone pinged off, so I knew that there had been some developments after we saw the video on YouTube yesterday. You kind of felt like there might be some developments with AB, so there were some developments today.
Oh, man.
I had a feeling it was going to happen. Patriots offense is going to be lethal now. It already was lethal, I thought.
But you really feel bad for Mike Mayock and John Gruden. They've invested so much into AB at wide receiver. He's an incredible talent. Now all of a sudden he goes through all of the preseason camp, and all of a sudden Bill Belichick nails him. It's almost like the NFL's not fair.
John Gruden and Mike Mayock have to be just steaming right now. Their blood has to be, they trade a first and third for AB? Don't quote me on that.
It was a lot.
Some high draft picks. I never really understood the move in the first place, though. Why do you trade Amari Cooper, the guy in his prime who, never caused any problems?
Right.
And then I just never understood the move, so I thought it was doomed to fail from the start.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching Hard Knocks. That was a lot of fun watching Antonio Brown and Gruden and all that. So you kind of get a little bit of an affinity for the Raiders, even though you're not much of a fan, for the average fan like me. Now you kind of hate to see it happen, so we'll see what's going on from here.
How much of the attention-seeking, though, are we going to see from AB now that he's with the Patriots?
Well, I obviously haven't seen the contract that he signed with the Patriots, but you expect there were some pretty detailed clauses in that. He's a guy, a lot like T.O., we remember Terrell Owens, how he was all about himself and that sort of thing. I look for this to probably be really dumbed down, because I do not expect Bill Belichick and that entire Patriots administration to put up with that.
Like recording coach, after a game on Facebook Live or whatever he was on, that is not going to happen with Belichick.
Yeah, I just can't imagine them putting up with that.
Randy Moss, Josh Gordon, now Antonio Brown. These guys kind of, if Josh Gordon could get it figured out, I don't know.
And he has. We saw what he put out on Instagram yesterday saying, look, I'm not perfect. I've made some mistakes, but I've been clean for X amount of days. I have a lot of respect for somebody that admits their faults and tries to do things the right way. So let's hope AB is kind of got it figured out, but he really likes the camera. He does, and we'll see how this happens in New England. He's a really good football player. I don't think any of us can say that's not true.
Are you a Saints fan?
I really like the Titans. I've liked the Titans.
Saints fan. I'm a Browns fan. We play tomorrow.
That's why he loves Andrew Harrison.
Really, really big Titans fan. I liked them when they were with the Oilers, and now they're Houston, now they're with Nashville. So, yeah, we've got a big one coming up tomorrow.
We'll get into that in a little bit, and, of course, the Ole Miss-Arkansas game. But right now, we're going to get a preview of the Saints season opener. Brooke Kirchhofer, take it away in our Go Black and Gold report.
The atmosphere in the New Orleans Saints locker room has begun to change as they creep toward the first regular season game, and for Saints center Erik McCoy, his NFL debut.
Nerves are going a little bit, not going to sit here and lie to y'all, but I'm excited for it. I'm ready for it. I feel like I've prepared really well this week so far. I'm looking forward to the opportunity.
Lining up against Texans' J.J. Watt, one of the top defensive ends in the league, is well on the minds of McCoy and left tackle Teron Armstead as they begin preparation for Houston.
Yeah, you got to go out there and fight. He's a guy that he's earned the right to have free range. He can go out of his gap and come back and make a play. So going against a guy like that, your feet, eyes, hands got to be very particular.
They're really big and powerful up front, especially their two nose tackles. They're big power players. They're guys you have to get your hands on fast because they can push the pocket.
For your Go Black and Gold report, I'm Brooke Kirchhoffer.
Brooke, great stuff getting us ready to go. You think the Saints got a shot at making the Super Bowl this year?
They do. I like Drew Brees a lot, and I think what he's been able to do, excuse me, while in New Orleans, phenomenal. So I like the Saints this year.
So Browns 34, Titans 10 tomorrow, right? Is that what you're thinking?
Probably right. How good is Baker Mayfield going to have to be to live up to all the hype? You know, from chugging the beer in the the football game, I mean the baseball game, whatever.
Game.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, he doesn't feel any pressure. He's a walk-on. Everyone's been down.
What's up with all these Oklahoma quarterbacks? I mean, boy, they've been fantastic in the NFL, and now we see what Jalen Hurts did the other night. It's like they're the quarterback whisperer over at Oklahoma.
Yes. I'm telling you what, I'm looking forward to that matchup. But okay, we're going to take a quick break. We got Brad Logan with us. We're going to get his keys to the game, Ole Miss, Arkansas. Our guest panelist from the Clarion Ledger. Start to think of a score, a pick, because we're going to ask for your prediction after this short timeout on Sports Zone Saturday, live from Ole Miss. We'll be right back.
All right, if you just joined us in this half hour, here's your official Storm Team 12 forecast for the big SEC matchup up in Oxford. Arkansas, Ole Miss, kickoff 6:30, 85 degrees, mostly sunny skies, light winds. The Kickers aren't going to have too much of a problem tonight. 74 degrees on the way home. Nice clear skies. Going to be a beautiful evening up in Oxford. Right now, live IMAX 12 radar all across the Magnolia State looking nice and quiet. It's going to stay quiet for the next several days because while we do have very slight chances of a rumble of thunder tomorrow and Monday, for the most part, the headline story is going to be the temperatures. Lows tonight, we're going to be in the mid to upper 60s up in the northeastern part of the state. Places like Oxford and Tupelo going to be in the mid 70s. Places like Jackson tomorrow morning, we're going up into the upper 70s by the time you wake up tomorrow down on the Gulf Coast. High temperatures tomorrow. I think south of Route 82, we're going to have heat advisories yet again for high temperatures in the mid to upper 90s to near 100. We're going to see some lower 90s up in the northern portion of the state. So it's going to be another hot one. Here's your heat index tomorrow, going to be up in the 100s yet again. The only exception, again, going to be up in the northern part of the state. Heat index not an issue for you, but when you have heat indices in around 105 degrees, that's when the heat advisories start to be issued. And the heat's going to be staying with us for the foreseeable future. I'm throwing the weather aware banners up for tomorrow and Monday. That is going to be because of the heat. High temperatures near 100, heat indices over 105. And then we're going to see temperatures in the mid 90s all the way through the rest of the week. So it's going to be a hot one, a pretty hot week coming up in September, getting it off to a hot one. Let's take it back up to Oxford with Noah, Samaria, and Andrew.
All righty, thank you, John Conway. Hottest days of the year right now. Time to play a little tackle football. We're about an hour and 20 minutes away from Ole Miss against Arkansas. Brad Logan joined us from the Clarion Ledger. Brad, what are the keys to the game here for a Rebel victory?
Well, we talked about it earlier, but Chad Morris, head coach at Arkansas, has yet to win a conference game. This is his best shot as head coach. 0-8 last year. He gets Ole Miss early this game. I think the key for Ole Miss is to be able to run the football. Offensive line last week was really, really poor against Memphis. They get an Arkansas defense that's susceptible to the run. If the Rebels can run the football effectively, open up that passing game for Matt Corral, it gives that offense a chance. Defense played well last week against Memphis.
Very well.
Offense just did not produce. They're going to have to be able to run the football.
Is Arkansas an easier team to run the ball against than Memphis was, do you think?
Probably about the same. I really like that Memphis defensive front. Arkansas is going to come in here with a lot of defensive packages under John Chavis. He's very experienced defensive coordinator. He's been around the block. I expect him to do a lot of stunning. That's what Memphis did early in the game. In the second half, Ole Miss offensive coordinator Rich Rodriguez was able to come out and exploit that Memphis defensive line a lot better offensively running the football in the second half.
Yeah, it was almost a tale of two halves there. They got significantly better after halftime. You think significantly better after week one?
I think so. You know, everybody talks about you improve the most from week 1 to week 2. That happened today in Starkville against Mississippi State and Southern. It's going on right now. Mississippi State's improved a lot. I look to see that from Ole Miss as well.
Now, this running back group, what is going to be needed to get them going?
Well, it's a good point. And what Ole Miss does is has a bevy of running backs with Jerrion Ely from the Jackson area. Only a couple of touches against Memphis last week, but they do have Scotty Phillips. He had a few touches as well, but they couldn't do anything because that Memphis defense was stifling. Ole Miss is going to have to open up some holes offensively. That offensive line, very healthy. Alex Givens had the back issue. He played a lot last week. He'll play a lot this week. So Ole Miss is going to have to rely on that offensive line to open those holes and let those running backs utilize the talents that they have.
Do you expect Ole Miss to shuffle in some new guys up front, like a Nick Broker, a freshman?
Yeah, that's a good point. We heard Matt Luke in the Monday press conference say he expects Nick Broker to play a lot more on offense on the offensive line, but he likes his top 5 linemen, but we do expect to see Nick Broker play some at left tackle.
Well, too, I mean, there's going to be a hot afternoon, too. Fatigue could be a factor, conditioning and things like that when it's like 97 degrees out here.
I know. What one player to watch, guys, on offense for Arkansas will be Rakeem Boyd, their running back.
Yes.
Their tailback was going to have a career day against Ole Miss last year in Little Rock. He got hurt in the first half. Look for him to come out and get the ball early against Ole Miss. That Ole Miss defense will be tested very quickly with Rakeem Boyd and the Arkansas Razorback offense.
Pete named Boyd as one of the key guys, too, so you guys agree on that one.
Right.
He's a beast. He had a big debut last week. As you said, he went down with an injury last
year against Ole Miss. He went down in the first half. He was having a career day, but like I said, he went down. I expect big things out of him today.
Absolutely. Arkansas has had this one circled since last year up in Fayetteville. They feel they got robbed up there, and they wanted out for revenge today.
They're out for revenge, and like I said, Chad Morris is a guy that's looking for that first SEC win. I think there's a good chance he gets it today.
Whoa, okay. The Ole Miss beat
we're looking at 2 programs. Like, let's talk about some of those similarities.
Well, I think more than anything, we're looking at 2 programs that are on the bottom half of the SEC West. And today, it's a great opportunity for both Ole Miss and Mississippi State to try to climb out of that hole. And unfortunately for the loser today, they're going to stay at the bottom of the SEC West. So it's a big, big game for both these programs.
Yeah, when you're a young team like Ole Miss, just in terms of getting the confidence level up, you got to get a game like this. I mean, a win here could do wonders for their confidence, you would think.
Yeah, and the good news for Arkansas, you're coming off a win. Now, it's a Portland State team that wasn't very good.
They barely beat them.
But it's a win nonetheless, and that's one thing you can build upon. For Ole Miss, obviously coming off a loss, and it's a loss against a pretty good Memphis team. It's early in the season. We don't know how good Memphis is, but we know they had a pretty good running attack with Patrick Taylor. So they've just got to correct some things. The schedule is daunting for Ole Miss. You've got a winnable game next week, but then you've got Cal coming in here, and then the SEC West begins. That's why, or should I say continues, because today it's going to be a tough one for Ole Miss. They really need this W today to get some momentum going forward.
Yeah, this game, it seems like it's a lot earlier than the year than it used to be, than it usually is. So get it done early this year.
Yeah, both these teams really need it. They really do, and it's a lot about who wants it more. And, you say about effort and that sort of thing. We just know that Chad Morris and those Razorbacks have had this game circled because it is the most winnable game on their schedule out of that Western Division, the SEC.
Craddock, our first guest, said Ole Miss 3-0. And then Pete, our second guest, said Ole Miss 27-24. Are you going to make it a clean sweep? What's your prediction?
Now, I like the Razorbacks today.
Whoa,
I like Chad Morris to get off the snide, and I look for him to get his first SEC win today, 38-35. And I expect it to be a wild, wild finish, whether it be a kick late in the game, whether it be a block field goal, whether it be a block punt. Something crazy is going to happen here today, but I do think the Hogs get the win.
Oh, we're ready for crazy out here.
How about that? Brad Logan picking the Razorbacks.
Candid as always out there. You're watching Sports Zone Saturday live from Oxford. We'll be right back on 12 News.
With the Riverside Rumble. Belhaven Millsaps opening the season with a bang, like the first scene in The Dark Knight, the bank robbery scene, coming out of the gate with suspense, action, twists, and turns. Do you get that reference, Andrew Harrison? Dark Knight?
Oh, absolutely. Love that movie.
4th and goal. Blazers defense gets the stop. A huge goal line stand to keep the game scoreless in the second. Ensuing drive, you'll see the bad snap. Saps would get really good field position, and they take advantage. Amron Jeffrey to Austin Russell. What a catch. See the replay. He got the knee in, and Millsaps goes on to win the first local college football game of the week, 28-14. And welcome welcome back to Oxford. We are live outside of the pavilion here, and Fan Fest, boy, it's starting to get really packed. We've seen a lot of Arkansas fans here as well.
They made the trip. How long? I mean, it's not that far of a drive. What,
I don't know. How long is it, Andrew?
If you're coming from Fayetteville, you got to go through Arkansas kind of long ways to get all the way down here, so it can be kind of hard. There's a lot of twists and turns, so not a whole lot of interstate, especially if you're coming from Fayetteville. It is a long drive, but they love their Hogs.
Yeah.
And this is a game they've circled. They think they can win this one.
And we saw a couple Arkansas fans give the thumbs up when Brad Logan picked the Razorbacks to pull off the upset today. I was surprised by that pick, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Very surprised.
Did not see that coming. Our other columnists, including the guy from Arkansas, he picked Ole Miss. So that's keeping us guessing here today.
And who are we going to pick? That's called a tease in the TV business. Coming up, our giant pick segment. We're going to pick 6 games. Andrew Harrison, can he pad his lead in the pick standings? We'll find out when Sports Zone Saturday, live from Ole Miss, continues. Welcome back to the program. It is Red Zone time here on Sports Zone Saturday. This is the serious moment of the program where we make our picks. Samari and I had a brutal week last week. We went 2-3. Andrew Harrison, Tennessee Titans fan Andrew Harrison, went 4-1. We'll start in the NFL.
Sure.
Browns or Titans? Who you got?
Oh, Tighten up all the way. I like to win and cover tomorrow.
Samaria, Browns by 40, right?
I hate to say this, but I'm going to go Cleveland.
Thank you. Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield, 5 touchdowns. Browns will win the game.
that.
Texans Saints. Who you got?
What did you say?
Texans Saints.
Oh, Texans Saints. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Saints. I'm gonna go with the home team. I'm going to go Saints.
I'm going with the Texans. They are all in for this year. This is their window. The Saints are notoriously slow starters. I'm going Houston
They don't
Texans.
have a $100
I like the way Andrew just broke that down. Andrew's right. The Saints seem to get off to kind of slow start, so I'm going to go Texans there too, a little on the fence. Stanford at USC. USC's a 3-point favorite. What do you think?
I'm going to go with Stanford Cardinal for sure on that one. I think USC's got a new quarterback they're trying to break in, and Stanford is legit.
Stanford.
USC. LSU at Texas. I think that this is the big game a lot of people are excited for tonight as well. Texas, 6.5-point underdogs. They pull off the upset, Samaria.
You know what? The LSU fans have not been nice to me. I'm going Texas.
Why are LSU fans, why have you been mean to Samaria? What?
Whoa, look at them horns.
What do you mean they've been mean to you? What have they done?
I'm an Auburn grad.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
I am all in with Coach O and LSU. They're going to go to Austin and make Matthew McConaughey cry.
I am going to go with LSU. I'm feeling LSU in this one. So Tennessee, oh man, I kind of feel bad for the Vols. They were like 28-point favorites last week, and they lost to Georgia State. They're 4-point favorites at home against BYU. Do the Vols bounce back?
I don't know. I mean, you lost to Georgia State. You know I'm from Atlanta. I'm going to go BYU.
I'm thinking the Vols are going to bounce back. Not convincingly, but they're going to beat Brigham Young this week.
Tennessee has to bounce back. Lock me in for Tennessee. And the moment you've all been waiting for. Arkansas at Ole Miss. Ole Miss favored by 6 points. Samaria, you do the honors. Lead us off. Who do you got in this game?
Okay, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's like this every single year. So I'm going to go same score from last year, 37-33 Ole Miss.
Whoa, same score.
Same score.
That sounds good to me. Ole Miss wins today, but they do not cover. So if you bet the Hogs, you make money.
Ole Miss by 4. Thanks for watching Sports Zone Saturday. Enjoy the game. We'll see you next week live from Oxford.